Donald Trump shot during a campaign rally in western Pennsylvania. The Republican frontrunner and attendees running for cover as Trump was rushed off the stage with blood coming out of his ear. We'll have more on the major developments that we've gotten from overnight, plus what comes next. The Sunday edition of News 8 Today starts right now.
WGAL News 8 begins with breaking news.
It's July 14th, 2024. Good Sunday morning. I'm Jay Scott Smith, and the big story this morning is the assassination attempt on Donald Trump last night in Butler County. The videos and pictures from the incident capture the chaos that unfolded when shots rang out at this rally around 6:10 p.m. on Saturday evening. It's the first major attempt on the life of a president or presidential candidate since Ronald Reagan was shot in 1981. Now, there are growing concerns in the state of Florida about an outbreak of measles, a disease that vaccines had largely eradicated at the turn of this century. Well, it's also come as cases have been confirmed in Michigan and Indiana for the first time in 5 years.
As for the prices that you and I are paying at the grocery store, Jay, right now the impact on that is expected to be fairly minimal.
Now, Jackie, it's not just agriculture that's being affected by this. The collapse could also have an impact on the auto industry. So what are you hearing about this?
Yeah, that's right. The Port of Baltimore is the #1 automobile port in the country.
With the Republican National Convention starting on Monday in Milwaukee, some conservative groups have started planning a very controversial agenda for a potential second Trump administration. This plan is known as Project 2025. And in honor of Pride Month, we're highlighting the stories that shine a light on the LGBTQ+ community. And when it comes to organized religion in America, the frequent rejection of the LGBTQ+ community has many of them turning away from their faith. Now, as we hear from our McKenna Alexander, sometimes it's the lack of acceptance that can lead to a reclamation of pride beyond the pulpit. Welcome back to the Sunday edition of News 8 Today on this Father's Day. And in Denver, pilots with United Airlines are connecting with students from a group of historically black colleges in an effort to increase diversity in aviation. Janelle Finch spoke with them about their experience. Investigation continues into the assassination attempt on Donald Trump. We'll have live team coverage with up-to-date details on the investigation, the political impact, and the dismissed classified documents case. And here's a live look at our York sky cam as the sun starts to creep over the horizon, but the heat and humidity continue to roll through this weekend. The Saturday edition of News 8 Today starts right now. It's July 6, 2024. Good Saturday morning. I'm Jay Scott Smith, and it's so steamy outside that my glasses literally fogged up as I stepped outside earlier today.
This is coverage you can count on with a WGAL News 8 update.
Good Monday morning. I'm Jay Scott Smith, and this morning in Harrisburg, a murder investigation is underway after a man was killed just a few blocks from the Capitol building on Sunday. The shooting happened around 5:30 p.m. on State Street. And Harrisburg police say they responded to reports of shots fired, but when they arrived, they found a man who had been shot dead. A person of interest has been arrested in this case. So you've likely seen this custom jacket, a custom-made Travis Kelce jacket that went viral after Taylor Swift wore it during the AFC Championship game. Ironically, that jacket was made by the wife of San Francisco fullback Kyle Juszczyk. Well, this jacket has inspired a Pittsburgh Penguins fan to create her own. And of course, she's been documenting the journey where else? On TikTok. Mary Ellen, and normally scammers, they tend to be anonymous, lurking in the shadows behind phone calls or emails or text messages. However, we have a story of two bold scammers who actually pulled up in person and were caught in a sting operation in Lebanon County. And the victims who helped with the sting, they spoke with our Susan Shapiro. And in sports, the Phillies and pitcher Zach Wheeler have agreed on a 3-year, $126 million contract extension. The 33-year-old right-hander was entering the final year of a 5-year, $118 million contract. And the extension gives the Phillies ace the fourth highest average salary in Major League Baseball history at $42 million a year. We pick things up in the second period. Bears on the power play when Garrett Rowe rips this shot from the point, beating Jet Greaves, and the Bears take a 1-0 lead. But just like Thursday night, Cleveland's David Jiricek sent the game to overtime by scoring with just 90 seconds left in the third period. And just like Thursday night, it was the Bears who won it in the extra period. Pierrick Dubé beats Greaves with this wrist shot at the 11-minute mark of overtime, and the Bears take Game 2 by the score of 3-2. Meanwhile, Aaron Nola and the Phillies hosted St. Louis, and they closed out a dominant month of May. Picked things up bottom of the second. Phil's already up 1-0 when Edmundo Sosa crushes this 2-run home run to straightaway center field. His fourth of the year makes it 3-0 Philadelphia.
Average until next weekend.
And then the heat starts to turn back up one more time. That'll do it for News 8 today. We're out of here. NBC's coverage of the British Open is coming up next. We'll see you back here for News 8 at 6. Have a great Saturday, everybody. The 35th annual Make-A-Wish Mother's Day Convoy is happening tomorrow in Mannheim. It's going to help raise money for wishes to be granted for kids across the Susquehanna Valley. And I got a chance to meet a young lady who not only got her wish, but is now helping others. Haley Doherty can talk about it now with an almost dry sense of teenage humor.
And I played as a goalie sophomore year, and then I stopped this year because I have a delayed reaction for when I have my seizures. So being a goalie plus a minimal delayed reaction.
The 16-year-old Elizabethtown High School junior and former field hockey goaltender is now in remission, nearly 2 years after battling leukemia, a diagnosis that she and her mother, Heather, remember vividly.
February 10th, 2020, my family was called to go to the ER. That morning I went and got blood work. My mom was on pool deck when she got the call.
I was coaching swimming when I got the call from the doctor saying, you need to pick her up, bring her to the ER, she will be admitted. I wish we could bring you into the office, but she has cancer, you need to take her now.
Prior to her diagnosis, Haley was your typical active teenager. She was an avid swimmer, field hockey player, and an honor student. But Heather, who's also a swim coach, could sense something was off.
She was slowing down. She used to be one of the leads in her lane for swimming, and she started going further and further back. And she was just getting tired all the time, and her times were getting really slow. So we saw something, and we knew something wasn't quite right. We just didn't know what.
Haley experienced all the signs of leukemia and quickly started chemotherapy. Along with the usual side effects that chemo brings, Haley also began to suffer those aforementioned seizures following her early treatments. In the middle of Haley's cancer battle, which also came as the pandemic started taking hold, Heather got an unexpected email from Make-A-Wish.
When my mom first got the email, because that's how they contact you, is through an email, she went to my oncologist and said, is this a scam?
We took it to the doctor. We're like, do you know anything about this? Because, she had just had her seizure and she had leukemia. We didn't think she was that sick that she would be granted a wish.
The email was indeed legit, and the process of getting Haley her wish got rolling. However, thanks to the pandemic and its travel restrictions, the process took a lot longer, stalling out for more than a year before she and her family finally got their wish in April of 2022. It was a trip to Hawaii.
I got to go ziplining over where Jurassic Park was filmed, and that was the first time I've ever gone ziplining, so that was so much fun.
Following that trip, the Dohertys were contacted again by Make-A-Wish. This time it was for a chance to be a part of the annual Mother's Day convoy in Lancaster.
When her wish was granted, and then that year for Mother's Day, they asked us to be a convoy coach. So she came and she was a convoy coach, which means she started off the convoy.
I liked that no matter what, you would have somebody fun to talk to. I had an amazing truck driver. His name was Mike. I actually rode with him again last year, and I'm going to ride with him this year.
Haley will be front and center at this year's 35th annual Mother's Day Convoy, which raises money to support the wishes the organization grants. And it's also a testament to Haley's perseverance. Haley finished chemo on June 18th, 2022. She's back in school, back in the pool, has a 4.0, and wants to become a psychologist. She also just went to her junior prom. I asked her what message she has for kids who are battling a life-threatening disease like cancer. Her response was typical of her sense of humor as well as her spirit.
It's gonna suck some days, but one more day is always gonna be better. It's always better to be here for another day than not get to see it, because something might happen that is exciting, even if it's just to watch one more episode of that show you really like. The next day can always hold something better.
Now, she's such an impressive young lady. In the 35th annual Make-A-Wish Mother's Day Truck Convoy, it happens tomorrow starting at the Mannheim Auto Auction. And it not only will feature the convoy, but there's also going to be carnival games, entertainment, an online auction, and local food trucks. So for more information on the convoy, you can find it online at wishconvoy.org.